you coming over, girl?
Oh, my baby.
Time for a quick Petra cameo. Yeah, you want to look into the camera, girl? You want to say hi to your fans? Yes, I love you. Yeah, this is very sweet. You want to just sit on my lap? You can do it. Or you can leave. That's fine too.
Hello, Fellow-litas. Before we get started on the contents of today's video, I will just address the elephant in the room. Yes, this is the most amazing top. Thank you very much for noticing. I actually ended up winning the Bay Area K coordinate contest, and part of the prize package was this very excellent cutso from the Black Ribbon, who was one of the exhibitors and organizers of this event, and oh my god, I love it. I'm obsessed. I had this whole thing filmed and I was gonna post it, but work has just been kicking my butt and I couldn't even get out a regular video last week, so it is what it is. But I did want to say thank you so much to the Bay Area K folks, everyone who voted for me in that coordinate contest from the event, and specifically I want to shout out the Black Ribbon because oh my gosh. Anyway, moving on. The classic Lolita in me has been very, very excited for the contents of today's package from a brand that I am absolutely going to butcher the name of, L'Esprit de Noblesse. I believe it translates to noble spirit or spirit of nobility, maybe? Anyway, regardless of the pronunciation, they are a brand out of Russia that specializes in really opulent, royal, classical art-inspired Lolita pieces, and I am obsessed. Their designs are all so beautiful, and it was really, really hard for me to decide which one I wanted to bite the bullet and finally order when I realized that they had custom sizes available. So the contents of this box are custom sized to the measurements listed here, and I am hoping that they understand the plus size figure and body well enough to have scaled their patterns up, and I'm also hoping that because of the very large scale of the classical art prints that their dresses use, that what I get is something that will also just look magnificent and grand at a good scale for my body. Now, I don't think my measurements have changed too much since I ordered this. It has been about half a year, and I did also order 2 of their Lenoise Russian brand. French pronunciation, I'm just at a loss, but they're poofy blouse with the sectional sleeve bits, and I got those in a custom size too, so I'm hoping that this is just a sign of good things to come, and I hope that everything in this box is plus size and Swolita friendly. Now, there is a point of concern, which is that my waist is no longer under 100 centimeters. I've been clocking it at around 102 centimeters recently because I've been doing a lot of weightlifting, so I've been bulking up, but the bust I provided was 118 centimeters, and I know that depending on the undergarments I wear, I can get down to that again, and the shoulder measurement I gave was 42 centimeters, which I'm at like 42 and a half, 43 now, so it shouldn't be too big of a difference since it is a JSK and not an OP. Oh, speaking of which, I should mention which dress this is. This is the Sea Goddess dress. This dress really spoke to me because while I don't have any teal in my wardrobe, it is actually my very favorite color, #1 of all time. I adore it. This JSK in particular is very teal, but also has a lot of gold elements and a lot of cream and ivory in it, so I think it should still fit into my wardrobe. And the JSK also came with a scarf, which is supposed to be something that you can style many different ways. It's not like a thin strip of fabric, it's more like this big swath of fabric, so I'm really excited to see what that's actually like, how it compares to my proportions, and what I can do to style this dress with it. Okay, this has proven to be a bit difficult to open, so I think I'm just going to tear the entire box apart. Ooh. All right. Elizabeth et Nicholas. I wonder if that's the designer's names. You stole my heart. The dress is gorgeous. Oh, a bunch of postcards based on the art from their prints. Oh my god. They're all so beautiful. We've got angels here, a family portrait, and some sort of cherub. This is the Sea Goddess art that I am going to be rocking on this dress. And I was sorely tempted by this print, but I know that my mom sometimes watches my YouTube channel and she gets a little weirded out when I wear things that are so risque. Hi, mommy. All right, let's look at the actual dress. Oh my goddess. It is beautiful. I I'm speechless, y'all. Okay, I think it's pretty funny that I just said I didn't want the dress that was the most risque in my mind, but this dress is literally covered in naked ladies, so I guess there are worse ways to come out of the closet, right? Anyway, that is fabulous, and here, before I get too much into the details of the dress, here is the scarf, which was also included. It's made out of the same fabric as the body of the dress, which is some sort of light and airy chiffon, and oh my goodness. Oh, this is just gorgeous. Holy moly. So obviously this can be worn a whole number of ways. I will probably end up wearing this specific scarf in other contexts too, just because it is so pretty. Can you imagine just wearing like a little black dress with this? Ah, versatility, we are here for it. So it is very long, and there were some suggested ways to wear it on the L'Esprit de Noblesse site when I ordered this with the stock photos. And since it's actually nighttime right now after one of my work days, and I'm planning on breaking up the filming of this video into the unboxing portion, which I am doing now, and the coordination component, which I will be planning on filming another day when the sun is up and there is more time in the day for me to devote to this, I am hoping that this will fit me wonderfully and that I will be able to do a 3-coordinate video. And if that is the case, you can bet that I'm going to try to incorporate this scarf in 3 different ways into those different coordinates, which I think sounds like a fun challenge. So I really hope this dress fits me. Should I just put this on? Ooh, yes, I'm just going to wear this. All right, so the body of this dress is made out of the same sheer fabric, which, oh my God, look how delicate this is. Look at how that looks against my skin tone. And it's got another very thin layer of lining underneath it, which happens to be a pretty good match for my nude, go figure. So because of the color of the underlining layer and the way that it looks so similar to my skin, it's almost kind of sensual, dare I say? Ethereal, gauzy, and seductive? Oh gosh. I mean, listen, everybody in this fashion knows we hate associations with, you know, mature themes, and that all makes sense because we don't want to be objectified by people that are not a part of our community. But this is a kind of sexy dress. Depending on how you style this, it could be kind of va-va-voom. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. We're gonna have to see when I try to coordinate it, but in the meantime, let's just talk about the artwork. So right here, front and center, is a beautiful portrait of a woman who might be a mermaid and hopefully will not get me demonetized for her fleshy bits being on display. And the cut of this JSK is so simple, specifically, I imagine, to highlight the artwork it features. So we've got a princess seam-like dart right here along the front, and we've got a side dart here to give the bodice some shape. I just hope that I fill it out correctly. It's just got a simple squared off neckline, though if you look closely, the straps actually begin a bit further down on the bodice before the straps are attached. I imagine this is done to bring the neckline down a little bit, but I've never seen anything quite like this with a square neckline. I think it looks really cool, and I definitely did not notice it when I ordered. There's a pretty simple gathering at the waistline here. The lining actually is connected to the bodice lining, but the outer shell of the dress is completely free-flowing from where the lining fabric is, which means that there's more volume, there's more movement, and I think it's just gonna look really cool in motion, and I really cannot wait to try this on for video specifically. We've got a very simple, teeny tiny, delicate rolled hem at the edge, which, if you ask me, is the perfect way to finish this type of fabric. And the body of the skirt features this absolutely incredible seaworthy painting with these beautiful naked people and cherubs, birds, and waves, and it's just simply beautiful. And this fabric wraps all the way around this side. It is completely seamless, which means that this is one contiguous piece of fabric, and the space between the frames on this includes a bunch of fish and some coral and such, perhaps some kelp and some bubbles. It just looks so cool with my hand behind it. Ah! So this is quite a generous amount of shirring, and I do think that this looks like it should fit me, but I don't think it's gonna have to stretch much to get onto my body. So I just have to hope that the shirring isn't so big and so loose that it kind of falls off of my body instead of clinging to my body. Now the straps are fastened with buttons. The straps themselves have 3 buttonholes, and the buttons are attached to the back of the dress itself. This should give me plenty of size flexibility. I'm not sure off the top of my head if I will need quite this much extra room, but I will probably end up moving the buttons at least to the middle buttonhole just to be safe. On the side here, there is an invisible zipper, which means that the one place where the lining and the outer shell of the dress are connected is at this zipper point on the side, and that's also where the seam for the dress wraparound is hidden. And yes, it does still have the tag. There's no size information, but that makes sense given that this was fully custom for me. Okay, so how in the heck am I going to style this thing? Usually with my 3 coordinate videos, I try to do at least one budget option, and while I'm not sure there is a really easy way to do a budget dress down, and while I'm not really sure I can dress this down very much to make it more casual like I normally do with my budget cords, I do think I can get a pretty low budget cord together to match this dress because I have so many blouses from Taobao in so many colors, and I know that one of the cream or ivory colors from my various Taobao blouses has got to match this somewhere, somehow. So that is definitely going to be the first cord. The second thing that comes to mind with this dress is I have to pair it with gold. I have this really incredible Lady Sloth glitter mesh gold blouse that I haven't worn in a while, and I think that would go really, really well with this. The fabric is pretty scratchy, so if this really delicate fabric seems like it's going to be damaged by rubbing up against it, I might end up swapping it out for something else that looks kind of golden but isn't actually gold. We'll have to see about that. And for the third cord, I'm honestly thinking I might try to make this work without a blouse. I know, it's very controversial. I'm not sure that I'm in love with the idea. I might chicken out, but I will have at least a full day of mulling it over before I get to attempt to coordinate this baby. So wish me luck, send me your good juju and ideas from the future, and hopefully I will be able to process all of that by the time I am ready to coordinate this for the first time. And yeah, let's just cut to that first cord right now. Well, Fellow-litas, at a glance, this is so beautiful, and I am very happy with the cord, but honestly, the fit on this is extremely disappointing, and experiences like this are a big part of why I think it's important for me to review custom size pieces from brands that don't usually include plus sizes in their range. I'll talk about that a bit more later, but first let's break down the cord, which again, I am very happy with in terms of just aesthetics and coordination. You might not know by looking at it, but this is my budget cord. The dress and scarf are of course from the Sea Goddess release, and my Me Likes Tea hybrid poof petticoat is a bit of an investment, but everything else is significantly inexpensive. My irregular drape sleeve blouse is from Centauro on Taobao. Affiliate link is in the description, and this is a great budget blouse for classic Lolitas. My pink pearl necklace is from the Lolita collective. It comes in a set with earrings. My gloves are off-brand and vintage, and my hat and shoes are also off-brand. I'm not wearing any socks, and that is technically against the quote-unquote rules of Lolita fashion, but I am not bothered by it because there are so many times when I am wearing flesh-colored tights that I don't really want to wear socks on top of it because my feet will get too warm. So now let's talk about the fit, because again, this looks totally gorgeous at a glance, but if you look closely, you will see the things that are frustrating me so much while I wear this. For starters, my fear that this dress was already too big on me, just looking at it on the hanger, are completely founded. This dress is too big on me. I've got about an inch of space in the bust and at the waist just wearing this. And remember, I gave a waist measurement that was 3 centimeters smaller than my actual current waist measurement. So this is a really big discrepancy. This shirring panel looks like it should be extremely roomy and flexible, but all told, it it only stretches for about an inch of range. In fact, I would go so far as to call this faux shirring because it does not do any of the things that shirring is supposed to do. Hello there, post coordinate Ellie, coming in to show you what I mean by faux shirring. You'd see this much shirring and you'd think, oh, this should stretch quite a bit, but it does not. This is as much as it will stretch, which gives you about an inch or two all told, depending on where in the dress you are looking, and that is just not great. There is no world in which this should be considered half shirring. No world. The way that the straps are installed on the back is really bizarre, and I'm not sure that it's apparent in the videos, especially because I've got this very billowy blouse, but let me just give you a close-up view of what I am looking at right now. So you can see here that the inner lining of the dress is kind of rolling up because it doesn't actually lay flat against my body, and it's already shifting around a ton because there is too much room in there and a little tiny bit of stretch from the shirring, but there's nothing I can do to fix this rolling up. And I just have no idea who this dress was made for because it does not seem like it was made for me. The way that the bust darts are installed gives the impression that my breasts are naturally going out and up, which I don't think anybody's body actually does, especially at plus sizes. I'm not sure what the fix for this would be. I think both of these darts need to be moved further in, which might interfere with the print, which might be why this was done this way, but overall it just lacks an understanding of how plus size bodies actually work. Now, I had suspected that I would need to move the strap buttons down to the second buttonhole, but when I did that, the fit was even worse. The neckline just went further down, and while the waistline did come closer to my natural waist at that point, the issue with the straps on the back was way more pronounced. All that extra room just caused a bunch of extra shifting to the point where when I lifted my arms, the entire dress would shift sideways, which is definitely a strange thing. Maybe this was made worse by the fabric that was used, but I don't really know for sure. So yeah, needless to say, I'm pretty disappointed. It does fit, but this is the opposite end of the spectrum of the it only fits argument. I'm always looking for things that fit. You know, like they fit me, they fit my body. And when I pay extra for custom size on something, I really expect that kind of fit, but the dress is beautiful. And I could imagine that there may be somebody out there for whom these dimensions would fit them much better than me. For example, a plus size Lolita who is significantly shorter than me, so that the waistline would hit them at the correct place. The extra room in the bust would be more filled in by fleshy bits that they may have, and a tighter fit naturally through the underarm and waist would contribute to less shifting around. So basically my conclusion is that this dress was patterned based on taking a regular sized person with a fairly straight up and down body type, sizing it up without actually grading the pattern to plus size proportions, and then sold as my size when it's actually significantly bigger than the measurements I gave them. Now I'm still gonna do 3 cords because I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure that I've exhausted the options for coordinating this dress and see if there are any belts or accessories or things that I could add that might alter the dimensions significantly enough to make me love it. But at this point, I like it, but I don't love it, and I especially don't like it on me. And if I don't look too hard, or maybe if I take my glasses off and everything gets a little bit blurry, I see that this is beautiful. I see that it is fun to coordinate. The color is great. I love the way it pairs with ivory, and the fact that all of the accessories aside from the dress and petticoat and scarf that came with the dress, it all cost me less than $50 is pretty great, but I can't get over how it feels on my body and how self-conscious I am about the improper fit through the bodice. Next, I am gonna go for gold. I do think that there are some things I could do, like adding a belt that might help the waistline and stuff on this a little bit, but I'm already kind of stretching my wardrobe to the limits because I don't have a ton of ivory and brown, which was really what this dress seems to scream for when coordinating. So things will probably not be a perfect match, but I'm gonna do my best, and hopefully the second cord is significantly better than this one in terms of how I can make things fit. We'll see. Okay, so I got a little more experimental here, and I do think some of the problems were lessened by the features of this coordinate, but not all of them, and the fit issues were still an issue. So let's talk about what is different about this cord. For one thing, I've added a heart-shaped chain metal belt, which is off-brand, in the hopes that it would both bring in the waist and keep things in place. It did do that for the most part. The dress was much less likely to shift around this time, and the waist has been brought in significantly, but the waist of the dress not lining up with my natural waistline means that the belt did shift around a little bit on its own. So in some shots it looks perfect, and in others less so. I also took the scarf that came with this dress and tied it around my waist as a sash, and then tucked that sash into the belt. This serves a double purpose. For one thing, it distracts from one side of the bodice's bust issues, and also the folded tie at the bottom of the sash does help the belt stay in place a little bit, but it was not enough to keep that thing from sliding around. So what else went into this cord, you may be thinking? From the head down, my halo crown is by Cabricova Crowns on Etsy. My rhinestone tool and feather pin and the star headdress are both by Heinuli. My ring is by Automatic Honey. The blouse I am wearing is the gold colorway of the glitter mesh blouse by Lady Sloth. My socks are by Alice and the Pirates, and my shoes are by Cotton Candy Feet. So yeah, this took a distinctly biblical turn for whatever reason. I think anytime I wear this particular crown, it definitely tends to go that way, and then add to that the chain and the sash. I am the patron saint of Lolita. Let's talk about the things that I think work for this cord. For one thing, I love the way this dress pairs with gold, and I know that the golds that I'm wearing do not all match each other, but they all have a basis somewhere in the print, which I do think ties things together well enough for my taste. This gold glitter mesh Lady Sloth blouse is actually one of my favorites. I love the way it looks on me. I do wish the sleeves were slightly longer, and I can make them longer by adjusting where the neckline falls on me. But anyway, I digress. I don't wear it as often as I would like to because it doesn't really read as gold. It's more like a tan or a beige with gold accents. So it takes a very specific dress in a very specific colorway to really make this blouse make sense. I actually think it looks pretty good with honey cake because of the pancake color. Go figure. And this is actually the first time in years I've gotten to break out this little feathered headpiece because I haven't been leaning as classic as I used to, and I sold both of the wizarding themed dresses that I used to pair this with, so I hadn't really had an occasion to bust it out. I just love shoehorning feathers into Lolita. I don't think it's done often enough, and I wish I would see it more often, but it is what it is. So yes, I do think that the selling point of this dress for me so far has to be this scarf, because having the scarf and being able to drape it across my chest was a really nice way to use it. And in the last one, I definitely loved kind of flinging it around for photos and in my video clips, but I don't know if that saves the cut of this dress for me enough. And for this last cord, I'm definitely going to go full hodgepodge. I'm going to specifically pick pieces that I think will distract away from the issues that I have with this dress, and I'm gonna try to make it all kind of cohesive. I really don't have much hope, but it looks like I'm gonna be using a lot of the kind of one-off outlier pieces in my wardrobe to make that happen, so I have no idea what this is going to look like in the end. Definitely going to be an experimental cord, but hopefully it can kind of save the dress for me. We'll see. Well, my last-ditch effort to fall in love with this dress has sadly not been successful. This coordinate's really different. It's a little carny, it's a little piratey, it's definitely hodgepodgey, and it's probably, in my opinion, my least successful of these three cords. But it does do a lot of things for the dress on my body that the other two did not do. First of all, I'm wearing my Resplendent Galaxy green colorway Rococo belt over this to redefine the waist, which definitely brings the waistline down on this dress quite a bit, and it does stay a lot better than the metal chain from last cord. I've also got the scarf from this set tied around my neck as a pussy bow, and this Lady Sloth blouse has such a fabulous neckline that it definitely distracts from the issues on the bodice, but the combination of these things also covers up the bodice, which was a kind of selling point for this dress. What else has been changed for this cord? Well, I've got an off-brand feathered hairpiece that I bought at the Dickens Fair in San Francisco. I bought it so many years ago, but I will link to the shop in my description if I can track it down. I've also got an off-brand bracelet that a friend of mine through my in-laws has given me. I've also gone on off-brand socks and off-brand shoes. These ones are by Dansko and are some of my favorites for classic quartz. Ugh. Now it's too warm. I'm taking this off to relieve myself a little bit. Much better. I think the issues on this dress are still a huge issue. And it breaks my heart because I know that this is an indie brand that is headed by 2 people, and I don't want to sound ungrateful for the custom size options and plus size inclusion. That is not where I'm trying to come from here. I also don't want to sound like one of those Lolitas that screams fat phobia every time a dress company doesn't do plus size or doesn't do it well. I'm not trying to make this personal. I'm not trying to come for anyone, but please, if you are from L'Esprit de Noblesse, please take into consideration what I have said about the fit, and the next time somebody has a custom size request, consider how you are actually grading your patterns up towards them. And if you need to ask for more measurements to better accommodate their body size, I definitely encourage you to do so. Things like preferred bust length and the apex from your center bust to the side seam. All of these things are very highly specific to somebody's body, and if you are already offering custom sizes, I think it is really worthwhile to take the extra time to take into account some more measurements, gather some data about what the normative size range actually is shaped like from your customer base, and then tailor your plus size pieces to that customer base. Right after I film this video, I'm gonna go do some hunting on the Lolita comms online to see if anybody else who is plus size has had this kind of problem. My bet is this is a pretty common problem, but I also don't know how popular this brand is and how many plus size people have been custom ordering from them. So there is a chance that I am an outlier here, but I don't really think so. I'm a really large person, but my proportions are not very round or boxy or apple shaped. I've still got close to an hourglass figure in terms of my proportions, and while I'm not sure that's common with plus size people, it's the sort of thing that a giant shearing panel should account for. A variety of body types within a certain size range should have the shirring keep the bodice tight to their body and provide only as much stretch as they need in all of their different places to kind of shape to their body, and it should be consistently flattering for all body types. So I'm still on the fence about this dress. I'm thinking I'm gonna take it to my usual seamstress at Eclipse Alterations in Oakland and see if she thinks that she can modify it to be more flattering to my body, because the print is gorgeous, the design is beautiful, and clearly I look really nice in it in some ways. I just want it to fit me that extra level of perfectly, you know? And if it's not too expensive to modify, I am probably going to keep it and have it modified. If the cost to alter seems too steep, I may end up selling this though, so do check on my lace market from time to time, linked in the description, and see if it happens to pop up. But if there's any takeaway I can really say about this experience, it has been that I need to buy more teal and I need to work on my classic style accessories, because I did not have enough to make this color scheme work, but it is so beautiful and I really love the way the teal looks on me. So in the end, I'm giving the custom size variant of the Sea Goddess JSK by L'Esprit de Noblesse 2 out of 5 biceps. I do want to say again how much I appreciate this brand's attempt at size inclusivity. I think that the custom size price is completely reasonable, and I would even expect to pay more if the custom sizing was truly going to fit and flatter my body the way it should. I will still recommend this brand to people who are within their regular size range. Their default sizes are their defaults for a reason. It is their comfort zone, and I'm sure that this dress in a default size would be absolutely incredible on somebody who doesn't need the plus size variation. And if you are going to order from them plus size, feel free to go overboard and give many specific measurements, as many as you can think of, because I think it can only serve them better as far as being able to cut the thing to your body. I hope this brand somehow gets this feedback and doesn't take offense to whatever I am saying. My criticism may sound harsh, but it genuinely comes from the heart. I think that this brand has nowhere to go but up from here, and with just a few adjustments to their pattern making process, I think they could be a humongously, tremendously immensely successful brand for plus size Lolitas around the world. And I sincerely hope that this video does some good for other plus size Lolitas in this community. So yeah. Please let me know if you found this video helpful, interesting, or informative by giving it a thumbs up and leaving a comment below. If you have a favorite chord from amongst the three, please drop that in the comment section too. I guess if I had to pick a favorite, it would probably be the first one. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'd love to hear any feedback you might have on how to fix this dang thing. Before you go, definitely follow me on Instagram at Elvira Wrestling. I'll be posting the photos I got of all three chords there eventually if I get my act together, and if not, you can still follow me for other chords, information on my videos, what I'm doing for live streams, and just general updates about my life if that's something you are interested in. My video analytics tell me that most of you are already subscribed, but if you're not subscribed already, please do subscribe to this channel and it would be a big help. I'm starting to set little mini goals for myself, and if I can get to 2,000 subscribers by my birthday, which is July 2nd, I'm gonna do some sort of special thing, perhaps a giveaway or some wrestling content while wearing Lolita. We'll have to wait and see, but I can only get there if all of y'all subscribe, so please do that. Thank you for watching all the way till the end. I know this is probably a long one, but I really appreciate you sticking around till the very last minute. Hopefully next video will be less of a downer, and probably it's going to be some sort of meta unboxing, so stay tuned for that. I am Elvira. I am a plus size, tall, and swole Lolita, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!